Good morning, boys and girls. Today's objective is you will represent fractions as unit fractions. So let's get started. The things you're going to need are at least two construction paper, any color. I like yellow, and a marker. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold one of the papers in half. Okay, just like that. So you have a half. Then you're going to fold it in half again so that you have four equivalent parts. Okay, you're gonna trace one, just trace it across just like that, and this will be your whole. Okay, that means everything else is going to add up to make that complete whole. Go ahead and trace all the lines on your foldable. Just like that. The first part, the first section here, we're gonna split that in half so that the unit fractions for that would be 1/2. So it will take 1/2 plus 1/2 to make a whole. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one, we're going to cut it into 3 equivalent parts. Okay, and this is going to be 1 out of 3, 1 out of 3, and 1 out of 3. So I know that if I add 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, I get a whole. Okay, now we're going to split the bottom one into 4 parts. So what I'm going to do to partition it is I'm going to split it in half. Then I'm going to split one of the halves in halves and the last half in another half. So now I have 4 parts. This one is 1 out of 4, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 4, and 1 out of 4. Which means if I add 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, I get a whole. Okay, I'm back again, boys and girls, and as you can see, I got a new one because I completed the other one. I folded it just like that. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish the foldable. We're gonna go ahead and trace your lines. So now the way this works is to complete your whole, you have to cut the parts into equal or equivalent sections. So we left up at 4th, we're gonna skip over to 6. So we're gonna cut this into 6 equal parts, okay? So, or equivalent parts. So I'm gonna partition it in thirds first because I know how to partition it in thirds. There's 3 parts there, and all I have to do is just split those little thirds in halves. So then now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 1 out of 6, 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 and 1 out of 6. So if I add 1 6 plus 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 1 6, I'm going to get a whole. Okay. Let's skip over to 8s. All right. So for 8s, I'm going to partition it in half. Okay. Then I'm going to partition those halves in halves. Partition like that. Equivalent sections. Okay. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, but I need 8. So I'm going to partition those in half. If you notice, boys and girls, the bigger the denominator, which is the one in the bottom, the smaller the pieces. Okay. So this should be 1 out of 8, 1 out of 8, 1 out of 8, 1 out of 8, or 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, and 1/8. 1, 2, that's 1/8 plus 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 1/8 is going to give me a whole. Okay. Now we're going to partition it. Let's do nines. Okay. And the way nines works is, well, let's partition it. Can we do tens? Let's do 12s. Okay. And what we're going to do for 12s is we are going to partition it in thirds first. 3 equal equivalent sections. Okay. There's 3. Split those in half. Now there should be 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's split those in half, and you should get 12s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yes, this is 1 out of 12, 1 out of 12, 1 out of 12, 12, 1 out of 12, 1 out of 12, 1 out of 12, 1 out of 12. We're going to do this 12 times because there should be 12 single pieces. Okay? And that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And these should all make one whole. If I add the unit fractions, which is each individual ones, they should add up to 12 over 12, which would give me one whole. 8 over 8, which would give me one whole. 6 over 6, which would give me one whole. 4 over 4th, which will give me one whole. 3 over 3, which will give me one whole. And 2 halves, which will give me one whole. Boys and girls, have fun doing your foldable. Stay fantastic today, tomorrow, and forever.